Peace, family. You know, ever since the United States got into this war with Iran, and I have seen and heard the actions and behaviors associated with this presidency and this administration, it bothers me deeply. The fact of the matter is, when you have a situation where you have a school that was bombed and 130 young girls lost their life, that had nothing to do with this conflict. I believe it was 170 something people in total. And when the reporter asked Donald Trump whose involvement, who was responsible for it, he alluded to an investigation and said that he couldn't accept either decision, whether it was Iran who did it or the United States had played a part in it. Either way, he can live with it. It is abundantly clear already that this country has elected a pedophile as president of the United States. That's clear and obvious. But it should also be just as obvious the fact that we have elected a narcissist. This man is a complete psychopath. How you think, whether it was willful or unwillful, that you could have participated in the unaliving of 130 school-age children, and you can live with that? Let me allow some perspective. I'm a truck driver. I started out in flatbed, and during my initial training, they showed a video that depicted a driver sitting on the side of his truck with his head lowered down. A coil that he had improperly secured had rolled off his truck onto the driver's seat, front section of a passenger vehicle next to him. And I'm saying to myself, Lord, please do not let this be what I think it is. Don't tell me these people have showed me a video of a man hauling a steel coil and it then fell off and rolled directly onto the front section of this car. And I said, and if this is the case, please, whoever was in there, tell me they got an opportunity to get out. And whoever else was happened to be sitting next to, because this coil was massive. Sadly, that was not the case. The driver that was in that vehicle perished that day. And I said, had I been that driver and I didn't do the necessary things to haul that cargo safely and it fell off and unalived the unsuspecting, they would have had to call 2 ambulances because I would have unalived myself right there. This man, Donald Trump, said that he could live with the fact that he could have willfully, unwillfully participated in unaliving of 130 school-age children. And he can live with it. Didn't smirk, didn't grimace, didn't take this moment to stop and reflect on your humanity, your morality, the reason, your purpose for doing whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is you are trying to pursue. Was it worth it? You could have took this moment as a pause, an opportunity to stop and say, hold on a second. Whether this was Iran's fault, United States fault, these are children. Let's take this opportunity to reflect on what we're doing and how we're doing it. Let's renegotiate. Not a concern. These are the people that we have leading us. These are the people who are deciding our politics, our businesses, our industries, our institutions, our quality of life, our cost of living. This Donald Trump and his administration is the filtration system to how we live. It's disgusting. It is absent. And I look at it like this. If Donald Trump was an athlete, and he hired an entourage, and his entourage had questionable characteristics, just like this wild, untamed, undisciplined athlete. At some point in time, during their actions and behaviors, they would be deemed a risk to either the team or the league. And I don't care what type of contract they sign. They would have tried to find some way to get him off this man, Donald Trump, what you have done, and according to reports, that when he appointed Pete Hegseth to the Department of Defense, which is now the Department of War, they went through a process of firing a lot of people in that department. And in that haste, it was information and intel about the sites and targets that was in Iran. And then you replace these people with loyalists, fools, who couldn't interpret, couldn't define, they didn't know what they were shooting at. And now they are found to be responsible for this school being destroyed. At what point in time do you hold these people accountable? And it's already been apparent, because when Donald Trump, whatever he commits the crime, it's his lawyers who do the time. I don't understand this. Like I said, if this was a NBA, if Donald Trump was an athlete and this was his entourage, not only would they fire this man, void whatever contract, whatever process they had to get him on that team, not only would they void that contract, but they would sever ties from all his endorsement deals as well. We have got to, because see, it's sad when you could do this to athletes and entourage, but politicians and businessmen, they get a pass. They get excused. You know, we have got to, as black people, start to rethink some things, how we move forward from this point. And I want us, as a self-proclaimed leader of my people, as a person who aspires to be the next leader of our people, we need to start looking at the Declaration of Independence and the 14th Amendment more closely. Because, see, the Declaration of Independence states that the government's first duty is to secure the prosperity of the people. That means the government's supposed to work on behalf of the people. So if Donald Trump cannot, when you see this country is 50%, half of them is either at, near, or below the poverty level. And the United States has launched this war against Iran. At the conclusion of this war, how would you be able to address the needs and interests of the people that you did not have when this war started? If you can't answer that, you shouldn't be over there. When they asked Donald Trump, when will this war end? His statement was, he don't know, but he'll feel it in his bones. If you can be willfully or unwillfully responsible for the unaliving of 130 school-age children, and you say you can live with that, then you have no bones. You have no sense of morality, no sense of humanity, no sensitivity of compassion and humanity to like I said, this is just so. But we've got to find another system of government to guide our people. We cannot keep letting people like this run us. And when I look at this 14th Amendment, the 14th Amendment says it abolished slavery. And abolish slavery means the power and authority that white people have to enslave black people no longer exists. But that is not what the 14th Amendment says. The 14th Amendment says slavery has been abolished unless you have been adjudicated by law to have committed a crime and been adjudicated by court. You can be thrown right back in involuntary servitude. So that means that the 14th Amendment not only abolished slavery with no economic, political, industrial means for the former enslaved to go on and lead their lives, but you reinstated the state of enslavement within the same sentence. Once you abolish slavery, then you remove your ability to have power and authority over these people. You cannot end and reinstate slavery at your discretion. And this is exactly what the 14th Amendment has done. And we are still up under authority of these people. And here we are living in an era where we are reinventing everything. You got jump ropes that don't even got ropes. Cell phone technology, email. Look at... You can make a car that drive by itself. Trucks that drive by itself. You telling me that we can't create a system, reinvent a system without whites? You can build a plant to operate, manufacture goods and services without humans. We can't build a system without whites that we own, that we control, that we influence. Look at the morality of the people that's in charge of us right now. Look at what's acceptable to them. It is disgusting to us. Where's the moral consistency that you want to look up to your leaders and aspire to be like that? Where is it? It was removed from us. And it was replaced by these people. This is why I say we cannot just remove our consent from this system of government and still support the businesses, the industries, and institutions that support this government. You remove your consent, and you must be in the process of building your own independent means to sustain your own existence. That means our own businesses, our own industries, our own institutions that is consistently, morally, ethically consistent to the people. So there is no conflict. You know, I didn't mean for this video to go this long, but you know, I'm gonna make one more final point. When I said that the Bible tells us not to enter into a contract with people outside our nation, and people fought back. Where does the Bible say that? Trust and believe. It says that. And the importance of that is this. When you align yourself with the people that is not morally consistent or to your beliefs, the longer you stay intertwined with these people, the more difficult it is to sever ties from them. Because, see, over time, through your interactions, you depend on goods and services from their nation. They depend on goods and services from yours. And once this moral indiscrepancy rears its ugly head, and a situation like this school shooting, this school bombing pops up, now you can't just rip it apart. You got to go through a process now. This is why it is important for us to get our act together as a people, to align ourselves with like-minded people so that our morals, our principles, our values are the same, so that when we proceed forward, there will be no great separation needed. It wouldn't be necessary. We have been intertwined with people who said that enslavement of another race of people is okay. We have been entwined with people that sodomized men, women, and children, and it was okay. We have been intertwined with people who raped and sexually assaulted, lynched, cannibalized human beings, and it was okay. This country has been reckless in their pursuit, and we see the unaliving of over 130 children, and this man ain't missed a wink of sleep. You know, like I said, we have got to find a better way. There is no if and buts about it. We have got to find another way. I'm gonna end this video here, and as always, these are my thoughts, my opinions. I invite you to leave yours in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Ashe.